Yo, what's going on, man? Today is June the 8th, 2024. It's your boy Chris, and this is the ChrisBeCappinn NBA / WNBA show for today. We have two games on the board, two really good games, at least the one by just by rankings, and then the other one supposed to be a very competitive game. Not sure how good it's going to be. Maybe I should have used the word competitive. So we'll dive into those two games, but before we do, we will recap yesterday. I gave out two official plays that I sent out to the members yesterday, and they were the Indiana Fever to take care of the Washington Mystics. They were able to get the job done, even though it was super sweaty, blood pressure raised just a tad bit, watching them, just poorly execute on the offensive end and, almost giving away a 7-point lead at the end of that game. But I thought the longer the game went on, the more it would favor them. And then Dallas Wings just couldn't score the ball in the second half. I actually fell asleep on the game. I woke up this morning, caught the end of the game. Dallas Wings scored, I want to say they scored 7. They scored 9 points in the fourth quarter against the Los Angeles Sparks last night. Just couldn't get it done late in that game. They had I think a 6-point lead at halftime. Had a lead in the third quarter as well, and they get smoked in the fourth quarter. So that was a loser. So we go 1-1 yesterday. Other play I talked about was the Seattle Storm plus the 8.5 points. They won the game outright against the Aces, man. Storm are coming. They're definitely coming right now. So, we'll try to do a little bit better today. I got a couple looks that I want to share with you guys. I also posted an in-depth analysis breakdown of the total for one of the games that we'll talk about. So if you guys haven't had a chance, definitely, and you're interested, definitely go back and deep dive into the Connecticut Sun in the New York Liberty. I made an individual video for that game yesterday. So let's jump into the comments real quick before we get started, and then we'll get through the two games, man. Let's see. Also with the Graham says, good morning, everyone. Let's get some cash. He also says, almost all my WNBA plays cash. Only Courtney Williams assists and Monique Billings points, I think is what he means here. DT says, top of the morning, Chris and everybody. Let's run it back. He cashed a plus 3,082 parlay yesterday. Happy Saturday, y'all. Glad you cashed that, DT. He says only Chris will be late for his own show, man. You gotta be you gotta be new here if you think I'm on time. I try my best to be on time, but it's always some like you gotta go in and do it. It's not just coming over here talking about basketball, man. I gotta update things. I gotta check injury reports. I check beat writers. I create graphics. Like, it's a lot going on over here. But yeah, what up, Z's Nuts? Eric in here as well. My guy Justin here. DT says, nah, Ski be late too. Shout out to my guy Ski, man. Betting level ambassador says, Indiana fourth quarter, shaking my head. Neither team looked like they wanted to win. Yeah, we was DMing about this. I was messaging somebody last night on Twitter, and I was saying that, I kind of expected that. That's why when you like these favorites, especially a young team like the Indiana Fever, you really want to take them. You want to get the best line as soon as you possibly can. You don't want them winning by multiple possessions, because a young team on the road in a hostile environment where everybody's going to be watching, especially when you got Caitlin Clark out there, you're going to get the best effort from the opposite team every single time. And young teams tend to not be able to close the game, specifically on the road. So that's why I jumped on Indiana. I sent it out the night before. Fourth quarter Fever push. Yeah, 19-19, I think it was, Eric. So if you took that money line that I talked about yesterday, you got to push there. Just Fever, like I said, they had a 7-point lead, only ended up winning the game by 2, and they almost lost that. I just didn't see a lot. From my personal opinion, I didn't see enough pick and roll action between Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston. I really thought they should have ran that just a tad bit more, because that's their best offense, in my opinion. The one time that they did run it, Tiffany Mitchell, I think, cut, and then Aaliyah Boston cut in the dunker spot, and she ended up getting 2 free throws. She missed both of them, which also led to that being a push. So yeah, it was I can't wait to fade the Fever. Like that, I won last night with the Fever. I can't wait to fade the Fever again. This is not a team I want to bet on. I was sweating bullets last night watching that fourth quarter. What up to my guy Markel? He says top of the morning, man. He says I've been smacking the under, so I'm on Sky under. We're gonna talk about that in a second. He also thinks he says after Celtics Mavs in 7, and Fam says Wings in the Lynx. So the Lynx were involved in a buzzer beater last night. Shout out to Kalia Copper. They literally just couldn't stop her. They could not stop Kalia Copper. She hit the game winner last night. Yeah, with 0.7 seconds left, and the Lynx had a 1-point lead, so definitely got brought back down to earth yesterday. That was a pretty good game. I woke up and caught the rest of that this morning as well. All right, enough of the comments. Let's get into the two games that we got on the slate for today. First one will be 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. We got the New York Liberty, and we're playing the Connecticut Sun. A game we played in Connecticut, and this is probably maybe the best game that we've had so far in the WNBA. Highly anticipated game here. This line opened with the home team, Connecticut Sun, laying a point, and now this line is shifted to Connecticut to Connecticut being home dogs, and the New York Liberty are now laying a 1.5. So we've seen some line movement here. We've also seen this total open at 159.5. This is what I made a video on yesterday. It's down to 157. I do see some 156 popping up as well. If you watch the video that I sent out last night, I made that video right before the game started. I said that I thought this total was going to move, and if you played it then, you've gotten some CLV. This line was at 158.5 yesterday. It's down to 157, it looks like, on most books, and it's continuing to get steamed down. I see 156. I actually forgot to play it. Made the video, went, ate dinner, took a shower, turned the games on, never put the bet in, never sent it out. Woke up this morning and sent it out to the members. So we got 157.5, which does look like it's still available on some books if you guys are interested in tailing there. So I'll just jump straight into the total, and then we'll talk about the side. So setting the stage, though, we get a Liberty team that's really, really good, man. This team is, of course, number one in net rating. Really good defensive team as well. We'll talk about that. They are 9-2 straight up, 4-7 against the numbers so far. And I made a separate graphic for this game, something new that I'm trying as well. You guys let me know your feedback on this. But situationally here, you see that the Liberty last game of a 3-game road trip. This is the fourth game for them this week, if you include the game Sunday against the Indiana Fever. And on the opposite side, the Connecticut Sun, second straight home game for them. And this is only their 3rd game of the week. So you had the Liberty kind of traveling all over the place. Connecticut does have the rest advantage here, and the less travel advantage as well. They've been at home, I think, for the entirety of the week. And then you look at the season numbers. Like I said, this is going to be one of the best games in the W so far. 9-2 straight up are the New York Liberty, and the Connecticut Sun, the only team in the WNBA, of course, that are still undefeated at 9-0. Both of these teams, not great against the point spread. 4-7 for the Liberty, 4-5 for the Connecticut Sun. And I also got to mention that that Courtney Vandersloot, she missed that game against the Atlanta Dream on Friday. She's also going to miss this game. Well, she's listed as out now. I think she was listed as doubtful, but I want to say she's listed as out. I want to double check that, make sure I'm not giving you guys bad information. But I want to say I saw something that said that she was out. No, she's listed as doubtful. So she is listed as doubtful. Maybe that was a dream. She is listed as doubtful. So she's not expected to play. And it's Stabile is also listed as out. On the opposite side for the Connecticut Sun, Mariah Jefferson is dealing with an ankle injury, and she is listed as questionable as well. So, excuse me. So at the bottom of the screen, you guys can see the team rankings for each team. Both of these teams are really, really good, as I kind of talked about in the video yesterday. Offensively, you got the number 2 rated offense versus the number 4 rated offense. You got the number 4 rated defense versus the number 1 rated defense, and both of these teams are number 1 and 2 respectively in net rating as well. So the game is a difficult game to cap, man. I kind of think that I could really see it going both ways. The Liberty are a really good offensive team. Their defenses play a lot better on the road as well. But I will take just a slight stab at them having a very easy schedule. They have continuously gotten teams on the second leg of back-to-backs. They've also played 3 games against the Indiana Fever, who are the worst rated defensive team in the WNBA. And they've also played the Washington Mystics twice. So I think their numbers are a tad bit inflated, misleading. Whereas the Connecticut Sun, they've played against some pretty decent teams so far. And if I can get the Connecticut Sun as a home dog right now being undefeated, I do kind of feel like they are the right side. But as far as jumping back into the total real quick, I talked about this yesterday, and I'll just change it to the next graphic here. This is the reason why I bet the total. So both of these teams are pretty much dead last in pace. Bottom 4 in pace, Connecticut being the slowest paced team in the WNBA. Connecticut's number 1 in free throw rate. They rely heavily on being able to get to the free throw line. The New York Liberty actually foul at the lowest, the least in the WNBA. Also, New York heavily relied upon getting out and running in transition. Fast break points, number 2. Connecticut gives up the fewest fast break points in the WNBA. Lastly, Connecticut, number 2 in second chance points. The Liberty are pretty good at getting defensive rebounds. They don't give up a ton of offensive rebounds. And they are also number 1 in second chance points allowed in the WNBA this season. All of that is on the left-hand side. And then I looked at a couple trends. So I talked about Connecticut having 1 day of rest before, 1 day of extra rest before playing this game. And then they also get 1 day of rest after the game. They got 1 extra day of rest after this game as well, because they play again on Monday. Whereas they play again on Tuesday. I think the Liberty play on Monday. So trend that I looked at was teams with more rest before and after the game, 37-25 and 1 to the under. That's about 60%. And if it's going to be if the line makers project that it's going to be a closely contested game, 10-2 to the under in those games. You also got Connecticut 4-0 to the under in their last 4. The Liberty, like I said, 4-2 to the under in their last 6. And they've been a strong defensive team, 4-1 to the under on the road as well. So for all of these reasons, I really, really like the under more than picking the side. But I do think that Connecticut could slow down this New York Liberty team, especially without Vandersloot being there today. I think that could really show up. I know that they beat the Atlanta Dream, but they don't really have too much of an identity. And we'll talk about them in just a second. So no side for me at all, but I played the total. Like I said, I gave it out at 157.5. Should have got the 158.5, but it's all good. I think we still cash there. I think that if you want to isolate one of these teams, I do think a Liberty team total under, just because Connecticut plays so slow. I think it's 79.5 right now with a little bit of juice on Bet365. That would be, if I'm looking at a specific team total to go under, even though I think both of these teams could go under. I would look at the Liberty team total to go under 79.5 with the Connecticut Sun being the best rated defensive team. Let's see what you guys are thinking about this one. Markel says, I like that display on the screen. Appreciate that. Jay Holiday says, Cal needs to bet the Storm. Cal don't like money, man. He's stubborn. Storm keep cashing. Cal keeps saying he'll take the other side. Justin says, when you sent it to the members, I didn't see it until 48 minutes after you sent it and got it at 157. If I get hooked, I'm going to be tight. We should be good, Justin. I think it's a couple extra points in there for us for sure. Tonya says, Chris, you don't sound too happy. Not happy with the Dallas Wings last night, scoring 9 points against a Sparks team that really, I don't know, maybe the Sparks are turning the page, but I mean, that doesn't make me happy. But outside of that, yeah, I'm super happy. Znet says, you don't think the offensive and defensive play shines for them? I'm not sure which team you're talking about here, Znet. What up? M. Scissor says, good morning. Felipe says he likes the Sun money line in the under 156.5. Yeah, that's the way I'm looking as well. I don't know if I'm gonna get there with the Sun though, if I'm being honest with you guys. If I do, I'll send it out to the members, but I think I'm gonna stay off the side. I do think Connecticut wins the game though. Frank says Asia Wilson been paying the bills, baby. Yeah, she been hooping. I think she had another 29 last night. Yeah, Asia in her bag. Even if they lose, she's still out there. They can't stop her. Izzy, Mercedes Russell, like nobody's stopping her. Justin said, I just hit the like button. My fault. Almost forgot. Like obviously most in chat have. Hit that like, y'all. Appreciate that, Justin. Definitely appreciate that. No Diggity says, tuning in after the aftershock right now. Who's the lock ski of today? What's the lock ski of today? I like the under more than anything else in this game specifically. Blunt says, Liberty can't handle physicality. I'm sorry, I'm taking the Sun and under. Lynx bullied them when Liberty played them as well. Yeah, I think you're going to get the best punch from the Liberty, but this makes a lot of sense to me. Connecticut, also, I was reading through, some stuff this morning. Not to go too long on this game, but we only got 2. I was reading through some stuff this morning, and the Connecticut Sun are not happy with being 9-0. They kind of feel like they are 0-9 at certain points just because they haven't been playing as great as they should have been, which I know can sound crazy on surface level because they're the last undefeated team and only I think it maybe 4 or 5 teams have started the season 9-0. But if I was reading some in-depth stuff, and it was talking about how they lost a lot of their guard depth, and they're shooting the ball really poorly. From the 3-point line, I think they're the worst 3-point shooting team the Connecticut Sun are so far. So they're still trying to figure out some spacing. They're still trying to figure out some tendencies with, some of those bench players coming in. I won't bore you guys with all of that, but, Rachel Branham, Dejanay Carrington being thrust into the lineup now, who's actually been really, really good. But, just trying to figure out some chemistry stuff, because their core is still the same with Alyssa Thomas and DeWanna Bonner. You got Bree Jones back, who's shooting a career high, I think like 63% from the field. But yeah, they're still trying to figure it out. So the physicality and the dog that this team has in them is unmatched, in my opinion. So I guess I would agree with this comment here. The physicality is going to get there. And if Jonquel Jones gets in foul trouble, it's probably cooked. Stereo Company says first half under. Yeah, I would go first half under too. I do like the first half under, expecting just to be some really good defense. It's not something that I bet, but I think a lot of the trends do point towards the first half under here. And I'm glad Justin mentioned it. This is a rematch from the semifinals last season. The Connecticut Sun lost 3-1. They won the first one against the Liberty, and the Liberty beat them 3 straight times after that. So there is, I mentioned this in the breakdown in the video from last night, but there is, some playoff revenge here for the Connecticut Sun. Pretty sure they will not be overlooking this New York Liberty team. So I like that as well. Let's see. Quincy says, who you like in the Celtics game tomorrow? We'll save that for tomorrow. I got a lot of thoughts on the NBA game 2 for the finals, but we'll say that for tomorrow. So under is what I like the most in this game. Let's keep moving. Next game up, we got the Atlanta Dream and the Chicago Sky. Chicago Sky getting a 1.5 as home dogs here as well. This total was at 159 yesterday, and this one is also. I see it up to 160. I see it down to 158. Like, it's really just whatever you want to get here. But the consensus is that Atlanta should be laying a point or a 1.5 here in this game. So I will say this: it opened at 1.5, and I guess it's still at 1.5. Real quick, let me see what DraftKings had first. So they opened it at 1, and it went to 1.5. The total opened at 158.5, and it went up to 159. So real quick, situationally on this game, you get a Dream team. It's their first road game. You guys can see this on the left-hand side. It's their first road game after 3 straight home games. They've lost 2 in a row. They've lost those 2 in a row, though, to some pretty good competition. We know that they just lost to the Liberty. They're a top team in the WNBA. And then they also, I can't remember who they lost to before that, but the Dream also lost a game before that. I do want to know who it was, though. Let me just double check that real quick. I want to know who the Dream just lost to. Dream lost to the Liberty, and they lost to the Sun. So they've lost to 2 of the best teams in the WNBA. They've also played a really difficult schedule because before they played the Liberty and the Sun, they had the Aces. They haven't played an easy team since they played the Mystics, and they did beat the Mystics. They've had a really difficult schedule to start. I'm not trying to make excuses for them because they've been terrible, and I backed them plus the 6.5 in that last game. But I will say that they played a pretty difficult schedule. For the Sky, home dog, returning home off the big win against the Washington Mystics the other day, homecoming game for Angel Reese, and they will be without Elizabeth Williams for this game. They're starting center, which means Cardoso is going to play a lot more minutes. Maybe we see Angel Reese play a lot more minutes as well. And then you got the seasonal numbers here as well. So 4-4 straight up for the Dream, just 3-5 against the number, and then 4-5 straight up for the Sky, and they're 5-4 against the number. So you can see the inconsistencies with both of these teams here, which really just makes it difficult for me to want to pick a side. I kind of feel like when you're in that middle of the pack in the WNBA, like that's when you kind of want to look towards props. When you're betting on teams that's in that middle of the pack, they're not head and shoulders better than their competition, or they're not getting a big number. It's a lot of variance in the WNBA. Like, which one of these teams are going to be able to knock down shots? We've seen the Dream offense really struggle, as you can see at the bottom here on the left-hand side. They're the second worst offensive rated team in the WNBA, 7th defensively and 8th overall in net rating, whereas the Chicago Sky Their offense is 7th, so bottom half of the league as well. But they are 5th defensively. Coach Weatherspoon has this team, playing hard on most nights, and they're 6th in net rating. So that looking at that immediately makes me want to take the Chicago Sky as a short home dog here. I feel like I don't want to lay points with the Dream. But as I just mentioned, the Dream have played probably the 3 to 4 best teams in the WNBA in their last few games: the Liberty, the Sun, and the Aces. And before they played the Mystics, they played the Lynx, and they lost all 4 of those games. So you could say that this is a game that the Dream should step up in and, be able to take care of business against a young Chicago Sky team that's going to be missing their starting center. That's the argument, if you like the Dream here, that they just played the Liberty, the Sun, the Aces, and the Lynx in 4 of their last 5 games, and they lost all of them, but they did beat the Mystics by 6. So what does Chicago Sky fall in there? I honestly have no idea. I'm not going to be betting the side in this game because, like I said, I just made a case for the Dream. Off back-to-back losses, I do think they're going to be motivated. In the Chicago Sky, this team plays hard. They play hard for their coach. They play hard in Chicago as well. So I'm going to stay off of this one. I think if I had to play anything, though, it would be a look towards the total, and I would go under in this game. You guys can see on the screen right there in the bottom left-hand corner that the Dream are 11th in offensive rating. They've been playing against some really good defenses, and I think that continues here. Chicago Sky 5th in defensive rating. I do feel like and the other thing is the Dream, they've been playing really slow. Last year, the Dream liked to get up and down the floor. This year, not as much. They're still playing fast. They're just not making a lot of shots, but their pace, I wouldn't say they're playing fast. I'm sorry. I think they are bottom half of the league in pace. So I do expect this to be, I don't expect it to be too fast-paced of a game. Chicago Sky are one of the faster-paced teams, but they struggle offensively. If they're not scoring in the paint, offensively, they really struggle shooting the basketball. They're one of the worst three-point shooting teams in the WNBA. And outside of Maria Mabry, they don't really have a lot of shot makers from the exterior. So Kennedy Carter can get a bucket, but typically that's, downhill pull-ups, getting to the rim. And Dana Evans she's serviceable, I guess, as well. But when I think about the Chicago Sky, I think about a defensive team more than an offensive team. So let's see. One more thing I want to talk about. So if I'm playing the game, I'm taking the under. And if I'm playing the side, I won't give you guys an opinion on the side because I have no idea how this game's gonna happen. 2 volatile teams, in my opinion. One other thing I did want to mention, though, and it's a prop, and then I'll go back to the chat, is I do like Tina Charles today. Tina Charles is a bucket. Her rebounds prop is sitting at 8.5, and this is why you line shop, because on FanDuel, on a couple books, it's minus 132 for her to grab 9 boards today. But on Bet365, you can get her 8.5 over 8.5 boards at plus 100. I think Tina Charles, so she's had double-digit rebounds, I want to say, in like 3 to 4 road games, or like 3 or 4 last games, or something like that. I don't remember what the number is, but I'm watching the game. This is more of an eye test for me. The Chicago Sky give up a ton of rebounds, and their starting center is not going to be there today. So I don't know how. I think Tina Charles has a big game overall, just because when she plays against, she's just a bucket in general. Like, she still got a lot left in the tank. She's 35 years old, but she got a lot left in the tank, and I think it's going to be a masterclass for these rookies. We know Angel Reese is going to play a lot. We know Cardoso is going to play a lot. And when Tina Charles played against the LA Sparks a couple weeks ago, man, she took Cameron Brink to work, masterclass type game. I absolutely think Tina Charles has a big game in this spot. For her to go out there and get a double-double, I think is definitely in the cards for today. Not sure what her points prop is, but I like her points. I don't care what the line is, and I like her rebounds as well. I do think that she goes over the projections on both of those. So Tina Charles maybe rebounds a little bit more just because I'm expecting her to get double digits. I'm expecting this to be a game where Chicago struggles to score because the Dream bring it defensively, just being locked in. So, yeah, I like Tina Charles to go over her rebound prop as well. Let's see. Matter of fact, let's see if I can find it real quick. Do we have a double market? Let's see. Tina Charles double is at plus 180 on Bet365. Plus 180 for Tina Charles to get a double-double. I like that a lot. And I do have her numbers. I was looking into this last night. I do got her numbers pulled up right here. So she's coming off a game. Another reason why I like it, she's coming off a game where she played against Jonquel Jones. She had only 5 points and 8 rebounds. So I think it's a big bounce back spot. Against the Connecticut Sun in the game before, she had 12 and 12. So she cashed a double-double. The game versus that, she played against Asia Wilson and the Aces. She had 7 and 8. But the game before that against the Washington Mystics, she had 17 and 15. So cashed a double-double there. She also had a double-double against Dallas, 12 and 11. And then that game I'm talking about against the Sparks, she had 21 and 14. So I like Tina Charles today, man. I do think it's a big game for Tina Charles. As far as Atlanta, I was trying to listen to Tanisha Wright, who is very frustrating as a coach. And one reason I can't bet on Atlanta in this spot, even though, like I said, I do feel like it could be potentially a bounce back spot. They're struggling with identity. I listened to the post-game interview after they lost to the Liberty, and they said they don't really have an identity right now. They're trying to figure it out. So, yeah, that's enough to keep me off the dream today. Let's go through the comments real quick. I know I talked a lot about this one. Let's see what you guys are thinking. Twisted says, I cashed a 3-leg parlay in W last night, Storm money line, Sparks money line, Mercury money line for a big profit. Let's go. M says he took the Sky here. Likes the Liberty money line in the under 158, the Dream money line in the under 159. Okay. Lip says he's leaning towards the under for the Dream versus Sky. I feel like both teams have a tough time scoring at times, and I agree. I absolutely agree. When I think about inconsistent teams, whether that's being able to score the basketball from the perimeter, like if you're gonna go 2 for 13 from the 3-point line, you're probably gonna go under on the total. So I when I think about inconsistency, it does make me always kind of lean towards the unders for sure. I like it. I like it a lot. Marcus says New York has won 4 of the last 5 versus I think it's more than that. When I was looking into that last night, Marcus, they won 8 of the last 10 is what it was. I still got it pulled up on the screen. That's Liberty have beat the Connecticut Sun 8 of the last 10 times if you include the playoffs last year. Blunt says Cardosa don't even look at look at good for real. She turned the ball over. She doesn't look that good for real. She turned the ball over a lot. Can't rebound the same like she did in college. Take the Dream in this spot. Okay. Let's see real quick. I didn't share this with you guys, but I want to look at I know the Chicago Sky, even though they're a big team, they struggle to rebound the basketball. They are giving up the second most offensive rebounds and giving up the most second chance points are the Chicago Sky. They're also giving up the second most points in the paint. Like I said, this screams Tina Charles. Bring some of the big forwards out. She can shoot the 3-point ball. Mid-range shot is impeccable. I like Tina Charles a lot today, just based on this comment here and what I just looked at. It says I can hear Spoon yelling for from here. Yeah, absolutely. What up, Mark? He says good morning to Chris and the crew. Let's see. Jay says Sky still figuring out their rotation. Team chemistry still not there. What up to my guy RC? He says I have no idea how I'm awake right now. It's 5:41 in Seattle. Shout out to my guy RC for tapping in. He says I'm probably about to knock out after you finish the show, to be honest. My guy. These says he saw the double at plus 125. Like I said, plus if you got access to Bet365 plus 180, I'm probably gonna put a little change on Tina Charles to get that double today. I like it a lot. What up, Sasha Sneaks? Andrew says what's up. Markel says both unders today look great. I agree there. Justin says he appreciate the show. And my guy UCapper says Dream faced 3 straight championship contenders. They aren't as bad as their record shows. I said this, RC, and I said that that's the case that I can make for Atlanta. I just kind of need to see it before I bet them, but I agree with you there. He says he also took their team total under. We talked about this one earlier. Team total under for the Liberty, 79.5. The number is getting juiced. I think it's minus 125 on Bet365 right now. So liking that a lot. Definitely agree with you there. I took the full game under 157.5 this morning. I see the total dropping. Did a video for the 158 last night. Didn't even play it. And Global Affiliate says tapping in from Florida. Let's go. Appreciate that too. All right, so let's get into a quick recap. So what's the plays? The one that I locked in and I sent out to the members this morning was the Liberty and the Connecticut Sun under 157.5. And you guys can see the short list here. Connecticut plus the 1.5. I'm only looking towards them, not looking towards the Liberty. Rest advantage. Connecticut Sun having playoff revenge as well. I would be looking towards Connecticut today if I was playing the side. Atlanta, Chicago, I'm not going to try to figure out the side. Like I said, I can make cases for both. And I kind of need to see it with Atlanta a little bit, even though they have had the more difficult schedule. Like I said, 4 of their last 5 opponents have been championship contenders for sure. So I like the under 159.5 a little bit more than anything else in that game. And it is going up to 160. So you wait, see what the best number is. And Tina Charles, man, like I said, double plus 180. That's not listed on here. But over her 8.5 rebounds as well, plus 100 over on Bet365. Her points plus rebounds, real quick before we get out of here. Tina Charles points plus rebounds. Let me just give you guys a number. It is 20.5 on FanDuel. Only available on FanDuel right now. It looks like 20.5 points plus rebounds for Tina Charles, minus 114. I got to figure out how I want to do it, but I'm probably going to end up playing that as well. Really, really like that a lot. Mercury balled out. Man, Mercury balled out last night. Well, they hit a game winner. Kevin says, thanks, Chris. RC says he might get there with Atlanta. These nuts, did you say you like the first half between New York and Connecticut under? Yeah, absolutely. If I like the full game under, I like the first half under as well. I think it's a lot of strong trends that point towards this first half to go under season. I just didn't play it. I'm with you there though. All right, cool. That's the show for today, man. Resources that I use are here for anybody that's interested in checking them out. I always talk about, the Money Baller. Shout out to my guy RC, the creator of one of the creators of the Money Baller website. It's a one-stop shop for all your comprehensive sports betting for MLB, NBA, and WNBA. Pretty sure some NFL stuff is coming eventually as well. I always talk about shouting out OddsJam. They have one of the best sports betting software. This is where I find all my lines. Make sure I'm not laying a lot of vig and a lot of juice. So if you guys are interested in checking them out, use code CBC. It'll get you 25% off your first month. And enjoy your Saturday, man. Best of luck to everybody today. Hope you guys cash whatever it is that you do play. If you're still listening and you found the show helpful, if you're new, subscribe to the channel. If you found the show helpful and you like it, definitely hit that thumbs up button. Helps me a lot. Share the show as well. And link for all my official plays, if you guys are interested, will be in the description. We're doing pretty good in the WNBA right now. Hopefully we can keep that going. We will be back tomorrow. We got a big slate of WNBA games, and we have game 2 of the NBA Finals as well. So bet responsibly. Best of luck. Enjoy your Saturday and your weekend, man. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Enjoy the games as well. I am out of here.